What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Boots to Boots. I'm Steve Maclin.
And I'm Deonna Purrazzo.
And 'tis the season finale.
If you've stuck with us this long, bless your heart. But we wanted to make the season finale fun. We wanted to give back to you guys for being with us all season long. And we asked a few weeks ago for some questions that we would answer on the podcast today.
Yes.
So let's just dive right in because we have
right
them
to it.
ready for us.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah, you start the first one.
Okay. The first question we have is from Fester Fink on Twitter. And he asked, speaking on different boots, what's it like being married to a wrestler from a different promotion? For example, traveling, scheduling, and time apart, but still maintaining a happy and healthy marriage.
I would say it's actually pretty easy on our end just because we obviously both know what comes with the job and what comes with the business and a lot of the traveling. But what's also nice is the wrestling industry's changed a lot. It's not the 360 days on the road anymore.
Yeah.
Where you're gone 6 days a week, home for one and back out on the road. So for us, it's the 1-2 day journey and then we're back home. So it's pretty easy on our part. I think
I think we've talked a lot while we've done press for Boots to Boots about what is it like to be in two different companies. And I just feel like it comes down to the fact that we really value quality time together.
Mm.
And it doesn't matter if it's, 2 days apart or 4 days apart, or sometimes there's a week we're apart. When we come back together, it's about spending quality time together and we're making the most of the time we do. So I think that, if that's what's important to us, it's always going to be easy to figure it out.
Yeah, you're my priority, so.
Thank you.
You're welcome. On to the next question. Some of these names, if we butcher them, we apologize, but handles aren't the best handles sometimes. So this question comes from TS121875.
Oh, gosh.
What is your biggest pet peeve about one another?
Ooh.
I feel like I can get in trouble answering this.
Oh, please.
In a way.
Please answer it,
No,
Steven.
you answer it first, sweetheart.
My biggest pet peeve about you is something you already know. It's your vernacular.
My vernacular.
The fact that you use the word vernacular 24/7.
I don't use it as much. You just yelled at me to stop using it. So I've been upping my vernacular.
No, I think you know that my biggest pet peeve is your 5 C's, which are stay cool, calm, collected, concise, and confident.
Should we talk about your 5 C's?
No, we should not. I feel like
see you next Tuesday. Yeah.
No, I feel like you've done a really great job, especially through Boots to Boots, working on talking on camera and being concise and getting to your points. And you already know that's my biggest pet peeve about you.
My biggest, it's not a bad one though. I'd say for you, my biggest pet peeve obviously is your collection of water bottles. I don't know if this is a woman thing or is it just my wife, Deonna Kubrick thing of she likes to collect water bottles, not just bedside, in the corners of the couch, behind her chair.
Steve likes to call me a squirrel.
Yes, because it's like you nest them half drank or a quarter drank or even just a sip taken out of it and then it's just left in a certain spot. And it's one of the most annoying things where I'm just like, and then you yell that when there's no water, and I'm like, there's plenty of water if you just add all the empty bottles that you have.
I get around to all of them.
Yeah, I guess so. And then there's the caps everywhere too. You never put on properly, and they're just
Anything else?
No, it's just the water bottle thing is really annoying.
You sure? About that?
I got you in the good habit of putting your shopping cart back though.
Yeah.
When we first started seeing each other,
I was that asshole.
You were the person that didn't like. That's just like if you can take it, you can bring it back.
I do think you've made me a more polite person. I do say
you're welcome.
Yes, sir, and yes, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Not
ma'am.
just to the dogs.
Not just to the dogs, but to humans.
Yeah.
I do think you've made me more of a polite person.
You've made me a
less cleanly person.
Less cleanly, but better with my vernacular.
Shut up. Okay, on to the. That wasn't bad.
No, it was good.
That really wasn't bad. I mean, wait till we're off camera and. No. I could see why the water bottle thing is annoying, but it's not going to change me at all.
Whatever.
This is from Nick Lens on Twitter, on X. 3 questions in one.
3 in 1. Thanks, Nick.
How did you meet? Second, is there a picture of you with your respective world titles when you were together at TNA/Impact? And third, Deonna, what are your thoughts on Athena being the ROH Women's World Champion for over 1,000 days?
Well, answer to one is we met in NXT.
Sure did. We actually met way before I was in NXT.
In NXT.
You were in NXT, but we met
you were an extra.
when I was an extra.
But still NXT.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it wasn't like when we. It wasn't 2018 when we.
It was like 2015.
It was like 2015, 16, and so this is a funny story. And I knew that you were gonna do this, but so when we first met, and let's just say it's 2015, right? I'm an extra. I come down to Florida. I was with QT Marshall and Danny Cage
and Bennett
and Sean Bennett. And it was January, February. So I wore my pea coat that I had just gotten for Christmas. And it was houndstooth, black and white. And when we got to the Full Sail, I was like, hey, I'm just going to leave my coat because I don't need it to go inside. And I left it in QT's rental car. And I just never thought about it again. I never went to get it. And he handed it to Steve
to hold on to. And he said, hey, you'll probably see her back here as an extra. Would you mind giving it back to her? And I said, yeah, sure. So I threw it in the back of my car at that time. And here I am taking the trash out one night, and I haven't seen you since. And I'm just cleaning out my trunk, and I'm just like, oh, I'm never going to see this girl again. So I threw out her houndstooth peacoat.
So fast forward, 2018, I go to the PC. 2019, we're chit-chatting, we become friends. 2020, we start dating. And then fast forward to now we're getting married. And Chelsea texted me one day and was like, I'm planning a trip to Italy. I'm planning my outfit for a trip to Italy. What do you think about this coat? And it's literally a houndstooth jacket. And I'm like, that looks like the houndstooth coat that Steve threw out. And she was like, ha ha ha, so you like it? Should I get it? And I was like, yes, I do like it. And yes, you should get it. But in the back of my head, I'm like, no effing way does she want this jacket. She is asking me because Steve sends her to ask me for anything he wants to get me.
Usually works.
And at that time, we had been going back and forth about like, do we want to get each other wedding day presents? What do we want to get? Whatever. And I already knew what I was getting him. But I knew, like, in my heart that houndstooth coat was what my wedding day present was going to be. So on my wedding day, when Chelsea comes in with this big box and it's from Steve, I'm like, I already know what this is. So then I had to tell everyone the story when I opened it, and I wasn't surprised.
It's a good story, though.
It's a great story. And you loved your wedding gift, too.
I did. My orange.
I got you two things.
I know. You got me that shotgun as well.
Okay, question 2. Is there a picture of you with your respective world titles?
Chuck.
Hand us the photo, kind sir.
There we go.
Here we are, everybody.
Photo. This is a good one right here.
Here we are. And there are the belts right behind us.
God, we look like royalty.
We are royalty.
I know. I love that. My jacket that day was great. That was one of my favorite jackets. It matched with the gear, and somehow we both matched.
I know. It wasn't.
Did we even try it? We didn't even do that on purpose.
So Steve has his knee pads and his gear. The fabric in there was used from a
pair of my camis that I wore on deployment. And Sue, who does our gear, well, you have multiple people that do your gear, but Sue does one of your sets of gear, but always has done my gear since my time in NXT. I asked her, I was like, is there any way you can take my camis and like kind of integrate it into, because that's the only time I'll ever wear camouflage, was taking my desert camo that I wore in Afghanistan. I wanted to make it mean something more, especially being a world title match and being my first ever world championship. I just thought I added a lot to the match itself, and then just for me having a lot of personality in there for me.
Yeah.
So
we have a ton of pictures. This was a special photo shoot that Gigi did for us.
Yes.
At the building, but we have a ton of like still photos with the titles, and then also to like afterwards, Jen, Josh Alexander's wife, Jade Chung, she was backstage photography at TNA at the time and took a ton of pictures of us getting ready together and backstage doing interviews, and
it's a good time.
Yeah, the one of us laughing and kissing is my favorite. Like, I love this one because it's like our characters, right? But the other ones are just like actual D and Steve being in love and being world champions.
And then eating Papa John's pizza that night.
My gosh, yeah. Well, so it's funny because after that, Bully Ray was like, so you know what you have to do, right? You have to have sex with the world championships. And I was like, literally, I concussed myself tonight. So it's not happening. I did the standing moonsault, and I just undercut and like drilled the top of my head, and kind of messed me up for the rest of the match. Like, I just was like, am I good? Yeah. I gotta be. Because Jordan and I were the main event. But
we took some of your time too, by the way.
Yeah. Afterwards, it was like, sex is the last thing on my mind. There is no way, but I can eat a stuffed crust Papa John's pizza and lay in bed with you, and that's exactly how we celebrated.
Sure it is.
Or was it?
Or was it?
The third question is, what are my thoughts on Athena being the ROH Women's World Champion for over 1,000 days?
That's, I don't know, my opinion is that's pretty damn good. That's, who's the longest reigning ROH Women's Champion ever heard?
She is.
She is. Yeah, so it's like
1,000 days.
Good for her.
You know what? I am such a Ring of Honor kid.
Are you?
I'm a former Ring of Honor Women's World Champion myself. Athena, I never got a rematch, so maybe I'm going to dethrone you. No, I bleed Ring of Honor blood. I love that company so much. I've been a part of it in some way, shape, or form for the last 10 years. I helped start the women's division in July 2015. And to see the type of investment that they've not only put in a woman, but in the Women's World Championship, which 10 years ago wasn't even a figment in anyone's imagination, it is really incredible. So I am very excited to see how long she holds the title and who dethrones her, because that's going to be huge for that person.
It is. That'd be a feat, over 1,000 days right now. So by that time, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know when it's going to be, but it's awesome.
Never say never. Next question. This one comes from _pod. Okay. This is for both of us.
Okay.
What is your pre-match ritual?
Ooh.
You already know mine, but I'll let you go first.
I mean, I guess I feel like I don't really have one, but I do like to take like 2 minutes right before I go out in the curtain and pray. And it's not like anything super crazy. So when I was a cheerleader in high school, we used to, right before we, 2 or 3 teams before us, right before we were able to take the mat, would all come together in a circle and do what we called no errors. And all sit together and hold hands. And our purpose was to concentrate and think about the things we needed to accomplish in that routine to make it work, to win first place. And think about the things we didn't want to make errors on. And so I've kind of taken that concept and made it into my own little prayer, where obviously I'm praying to God that no one gets hurt, no one gets injured, everything goes according to plan. But I'm also reminding myself of the things that I need to accomplish in that match to make it good, and what I can do for my opponent to make them look good. And so honestly, I just need 2 minutes before that to be by myself and say a prayer and thank God for letting me live out my dreams thus far, and hope no one gets hurt, and then I'm good to go.
I wish I had it that easy. No. So again, I can go to high school as well. For me, say what you bring your mic closer.
Mine.
I wish it was that easy for me. For me, I can go back to high school as well, where I had a ritual pregame in football, and Hosk was there, who was in our wedding. We held hands to the field. It was our thing. We would always walk together, and I would just puke my guts up. And it's exactly what I do in pro wrestling. I get this anxiety build up. It's this knot and bubble that goes in my throat. You've seen it in immersed episodes or behind the scenes things here or there with TNA. But it's become like, it's the thing now. If I care about the match and it means the most to me, if I'm puking my guts out in a trash can, there's not even food coming up. It's just fluid of what I've been drinking and sipping on water or Gatorade that's around. And it's just the most miserable point for me in the night for wrestling. And then once I'm through the curtain, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Normal. And I just that's where I click in. And I don't know, I guess it's become my thing where I know once I puke, I'm good to go.
Yeah. Well, everyone knows once you puke, you're good
I know. I love funny story with it. My favorite thing ever, we were doing it was before one of the takeovers in Brooklyn, and the War Raiders were there. They had a special entrance to the Vikings. And Blake and I are getting ready to go out, and we're on the pre-show with the Street Profits. And here we are doing smelling salts, and I'm puking my guts out and then doing another smelling salt. And the Vikings are all around us, like just in a huddle. Like, what the fuck is going on? And I just take the last smelling salt. I'm like, let's fucking go. And then out we go through the curtain. And they said they've never seen anything like that. And we went out and killed it. But it was just like, what just happened? It's like, that's pro wrestling. That's however you got to get into the moment, you get into the moment. I guess.
I guess.
Never bothered me in combat. Go figure.
Yeah.
Never threw up in combat.
No?
No, never got that anxiety. It was just, I don't know. I guess wrestling and performing is its own psyche thing in my head of just my psychological warfare, I guess, against myself.
Yeah. I mean, I do think that it's not that I'm not anxious, because I am. And I feel like when the bell rings the match before me is when that anxiety kicks in. And like, I'm like, why the fuck did I choose to do this with my life? Like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to go out there. I don't want to do this. But then it's kind of like, well, I don't really have a choice.
Not anymore. You're already there.
I'm here. And, once I am able to just like collect all my thoughts and, you know what I mean, pray a little bit. And then I'm like, I'm still anxious. But once you go through the curtain, it's like, here I am. And I become the virtuosa instantly. And it's funny because, yeah, you're puking your guts out and then like ramping yourself up. Literally, right before we filmed this, 2 days ago, I was at Dynamite and I taped my match with Trish for the Ring of Honor Pure Women's Championship Tournament. And I said my prayer. Madison said something to me. I'm chit-chatting. And then Topher, who's like our person in Go, was like, come on, you gotta go, you gotta go. And I'm like, oh, as I'm mid-conversation, like, I can just be, chit-chatting like we are right now. And then be like, let's go.
Yeah.
But inside I want to die, but I'm trying to like, quell that a little bit. But.
Yeah, I always say to myself too, right as I'm about to go and Bravo's cueing me to go through the curtain, I'm like, oh, this is going to be either really good or really bad. There's no in between.
Yeah.
And then here we go.
Here we go.
So
and
puke it in prayers.
Puke it in prayers. We like it. I like that.
If you've made it this far, you know these stories mean a lot to us. And if they mean something to you too, hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and leave a comment.
Every like, comment, and subscription helps this community of boots grow a little bit bigger every week. So tell us what boots you're wearing right now, whether they're combat boots, wrestling boots, or work boots.
We're all walking our own path.
The next question, moving along, is from a friend of ours, Torch Martin, from Passing the Torch podcast. Fellow veteran. He just retired from the Air Force.
Stealing the words out of my mouth.
And so he asked us if you could pick one historical figure to be your tag team partner, who would it be?
Chesty Puller, greatest Marine of all time. That's it.
That was easy.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, now it's my turn. I didn't think about it. Can my answer also be Chesty Puller? No.
We should have like a holy grail photo of Chesty.
Like, oh, what did you say? You used to have to.
Plutz used to have that in his barracks room where he had a picture of Chesty Puller.
We had to praise him.
He had to praise Chesty every night before we all went to bed.
My instinct says that I'm going Jackie O.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you would have went Churchill.
Yeah, that's a great answer. I'm also thinking JFK? Like, do I want like Eleanor Roosevelt?
Who was like a bad bitch from back in the day?
But that's what I feel like. You know what I mean? Eleanor Roosevelt was a bad bitch.
Now you got me.
Jackie O, bad bitch. Like, I want people who have been through the shit, who showed the strength of women and fought, you know what I mean, for everything that they had. And I think in that same vein, like, yes, everyone thinks like Jackie Kennedy, JFK being assassinated, but what did she do in the aftermath of that? She refused to change her clothes because she was like, I want the world to see what they did to my family. And she wore it while LBJ was being, taking the oath, sworn in as president. And then one of my favorite quotes of all time, which is so funny because after my run at TNA and Nikki beat me for the title, and then no, it was when she beat me at Bound for Glory. I said, there'll never be another Camelot, which is a Jackie O quote. And that was her first interview she did. Their favorite musical to listen to, JFK's favorite musical, was Camelot. And a lot of people don't know that that's a musical, but you should do your research and you should be a historian like I am, because people came hard for me that Camelot is not a real place. And it's not meant to be a real place. It was meant to represent what the Kennedys did in the White House. And her legacy in the White House is bringing art back in. She had parties, she hosted events, all to bring back art and history to the White House.
Thanks, Martin, for this. If you guys haven't picked up on it, my wife is a big John F. Kennedy fan and also Jackie O fan. The love of your life.
No. You looked like him on our wedding day.
I know, you're welcome. Just didn't get...
excuse me. Anyway, we're moving on. I would pick Jackie O. Eleanor Roosevelt is a close second. The next question is for Steve. What is your favorite historical fact?
My favorite historical fact. Whatever your next question usually you ask me is going to be is usually the fact that I learned of the day, because you learn something new every day when I'm around you, whether it's historic
Yeah.
or it's just life.
Life.
Water bottles and life and puking and prayers.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite
Historical
historical
fact.
fact? It doesn't need to be something I asked you. It can be anything you want.
I would say when we were actually up in Salem. And this is my favorite historical fact. And
Yeah,
it was,
tell us.
we had our ghost tour, our lantern tour, I should say. And we're going around the city in Salem. And of course, the first place we get to, the lady asked our tour guide, she's like, all right, does anybody know what the second largest city was? Or was
where the
the
first cemetery was.
Oh, the first cemetery ever was. That's what it was.
The first cemetery ever.
And us from being historians in this household.
Us being historians.
Us, yes.
Us. Okay.
I'm by marriage.
Okay.
I shouted out St. Augustine, and I was correct. And my wife's face was so turned on at that moment. And it was just like a great moment. But then, of course, Marcus and his wife are there, Nicole, and my mom's there. And they're just looking like, where the hell did you pull that out of? I'm like, no, it's St. Augustine. It's the first city ever in our country.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the first established where everybody settled and coming over here. And it was just a cool moment. And the second ever cemetery was in
Salem.
Yeah. So yeah, that'll be my favorite historical fact.
That's a good answer.
That is a good answer.
Great answer.
Good story.
Yeah.
Still love that face that you had.
Piggybacking off of that, JDDPoy13 on Instagram asked, does Steve really enjoy the ambush by random history questions?
Yes, I do. Because it's fun.
That's a good answer.
Well, yeah, I just it's entertaining, but like now it's fun for me because we'll be at signings or we'll just be at meet and greets at shows, and more people relate to those questions, love those moments. They don't even ask me about wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
They say, I love when Deonna asks you history questions because it's usually me doing something around the house, trying to I was putting up the Christmas lights one year, I'm mowing the yard or I'm hedging. I got my new hedger that one time. So my favorite, because I was like a kid in a candy store with my new hedger. And it just,
here I run up.
I know, it's just funny because all I hear is, hey babe. And I'm like, yep. And then coming off planes, it's always fun because I know you, I don't know. It's also like, if we don't sit together on a flight, it's something I look forward to sometimes.
No, good.
Where I just see you outside the gate sitting there ready, loaded up, ready to gun me down the history question.
And sometimes I don't think about it, especially with this podcast, because I feel like we have had just so much content to push out. The history questions haven't been like a top priority in terms of everything else in our lives right now. Steve will sometimes be like, I'm going to go mow the grass. You want to get a history question ready? And I'm like, oh, and so I kind of try to like wait until he's not really paying attention, or maybe he forgets that he told me that, to kind of pop up. So I enjoy that you enjoy it. And I also do enjoy that our audience really loves it, because again, like we talked about this, previously, but it's like, you have just such a hard, like, I'm Steve Maclin and I'm a Marine and I'm going to, beat you up in front towards enemy. And
we know not that real money.
And then to see this like lighter side of you, I think people really enjoy that. So that's the fun part for me.
Good. Moving on to the next question, since you already skipped over your favorite historical fact.
That Camelot was not no, I'm kidding. My favorite historical fact? I am a really big, I wrote my dissertation for my bachelor's degree on the Cold War and the nuclear presidential rhetoric during the Cold War. And so I don't know that I have like a favorite historical fact about that, but World War II into the Cold War, how JFK negotiated the Cuban Missile Crisis, all that is kind of my favorite. So I won't bore you with any more, but I will leave you with Cold War, end of World War II is probably my favorite time period to learn about.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right. We've done a lot of things in our life with going on historical trips and getting to those cities and stuff. So out of your childhood bucket list, what's something you haven't checked off yet?
My childhood bucket list.
Because I know there's cities we want to go to and there's places I want to go to, but what's like something on your bucket list that you haven't done yet? This also comes from, Greg Cherry. So thanks, Greg.
Yeah, great question, Greg. I think going to Italy and going to Sicily and seeing where, my great-grandparents immigrated from is something we have not done yet. And that's something I'd like to accomplish ASAP.
Okay, then.
let's go to Italy.
Okay.
Yeah, I think going to Sicily, I'd really love to bring my dad and see where my great grandparents came from. Would be really, really a dream come true.
That'd be fun to do.
Yeah. What about you? What's your childhood bucket list item?
Probably going to South Bend, Indiana, see a Notre Dame game. I haven't been to the stadium yet. That's something that I think that's on my high bucket list of going to games.
Yeah.
We just went to the Pats game for the Salute Your Service Day, and like that was a lot of fun, and like just getting dolled around in the like nice section we're in. But like to go see the Irish play and actually stand, like it just be really cool.
It would be, and your grandma will be there with us in spirit.
I gotta bring Uncle Harry with me.
Yeah. Okay. Done. Italy and South Bend, Indiana.
Two opposite ends of the spectrum.
Oh.
Are you out of questions?
I'm out of questions.
I have one more.
One more. Okay.
Before we
wrap this up.
This is from Anthony Patton Phillips.
Okay.
I would love to ask you a question. How long will you both continue to wrestle?
Oh gosh. We're ending it on a deep note.
We are. It's not a bad way.
I mean, I feel like for me, I've been wrestling for 13 years. And so that's a long time for a woman. But I don't feel satisfied with my career, ready to wrap it up now. But I think that you and I are also ready to start a family and have children, and that I don't know if and when that happens one day that I will want to get back in the ring. And so I think that it's all kind of dependent on when we take that leap for ourselves. And then also, you know, how I feel as a woman afterwards. So maybe it's another 2 years, maybe it's 10 more. You know, I don't know how I'll feel after I become a mom one day. So I think it's all dependent on that.
Okay. That's a good answer. I don't think you're going to want to be done when you're after.
I don't think so either.
I think you're going to have that itch. You're going to have that time
yeah.
away, and you'll be wanting to come back.
Yeah.
And it's also now, I think it's like one of those blessings in disguise now for women in the industry, where if they are being successful and then it just so happens to happen, you're gone for that little bit of a period, but you need to go away sometimes.
Oh, 100%.
And it allows you to come back as a different person and reinvent yourself too.
There is so many women now who have done that. And I think it's so inspirational to see someone like Tainara. And, you know, I was there the day she had her WWE tryout, and we all knew she was getting signed because she was so freaking good. And now to see her, you know, teaming with Anna and the women's tag team tournament and just some of the incredible matches she's had through the years, and to watch her passion grow for wrestling. But now she's got Luna, her daughter, in the locker room and getting to see her be a mom. You know, that's just one example. Madison Rain, who's my best friend, you know, she's been my best friend for 10 plus years. Like, to see her transition from, you know, we didn't know each other when she had her daughter Charlie, but to see how she's navigated motherhood through that. And those are just two examples off the top of my head in our AEW locker room, but there are so many more. You know, you have Becky Lynch on SmackDown and Raw, who are navigating motherhood while still being very successful professional wrestlers.
Iconics.
Yes, Cassie and Jess. I just think that we have so many good examples of it, and so many inspirational stories that make me know that there's a spot for me post motherhood. But yeah, we're not there yet as a couple, you know, but one day we hope to be. So I don't want to say that I will definitely want to put my wrestling boots back on after that, because I don't know how it's going to affect my body. And so it's a little open-ended, you know?
Okay.
Yeah. But it's not impossible.
Okay.
How long do you?
I don't know.
Forever.
I don't know. Do I ride out into the sunset or do I go?
No, Steve will never get out of wrestling. Steve will be a producer.
I'll be a producer behind the scenes.
He'll be in the truck.
I'll never be out of wrestling. I don't think I will. I love it too much just because I get to be a big kid every day in my life. And it's the greatest job in the world to me that I got to just not fall into, but I was lucky enough to have friends that got me into a wrestling ring, and I fell in love, and it brought me back to being a child again, playing with my action figures, getting yelled at when I was 15 for still playing with my action figures, and coming up with different sets where I used to be a loser and bring my TV down on the floor, and then I'd set up my N64 with No Mercy in there.
Steve also, his parents just moved to Florida last year, and we were going through photos and albums and stuff. And one came, it was Steve, maybe he's 10, 11 years old. And there's still camera photos of the TV with Sable on it in a bikini.
And Deborah.
Steve was making his own WWE porn.
Well, yeah, because then I had them printed out, and then I had my own.
Oh my goodness.
I was smart. Work smarter, not harder. Internet wasn't the fastest back in the day. You had to wait for that thing to just come down. You're like, oh.
No.
But no, like I would bring my TV down with No Mercy. I'd walk through entrances with the actual Tron on the screen. I'd build up different entrances. I used to bring in a box of dirt and do Bare Live matches. So it was weird. I like to create. And that's my one thing of wrestling that I love is creating and bringing out the best in someone when I wrestle them, or to give those ideas to someone as well to like bring out the best in them.
Yeah.
Where I've said it before, like I always have better ideas for other people, and I tend to have that. So I kind of see myself once I'm done in ring, which I can't tell you when that'll be, but it'll be someday. And maybe at the same time too, when we have a kid, my mindset's going to change because
maybe
I want to be able to walk, run, play, and teach my kid how to just be a kid.
Yeah.
I want to be able to interact and just be normal. I think with the scheduling now in wrestling, it's gotten a lot easier for us to not be on the road all the time, which we're home more.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. No, I definitely think the way wrestling has changed in the landscape and the scheduling definitely lends itself more to, parents.
Yeah.
And being home and actually raising your children as opposed to like the stories you hear back in the day of my dad wasn't around or so-and-so. So, yeah, that's a really loaded question to end on.
It is. But we can go out on a high note because it is the holiday season.
Yes, it is.
It's Christmas time in this house. So to whatever you guys do celebrate, happy holidays. But from us, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Send us more questions.
And if you like Boots to Boots and you want to see us come back for a season 2, let us know in the comments. Thanks.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching.
Please like, subscribe, and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
This is Boots to Boots. We'll be talking to you.
Eddie Soldier.
It's Maureen.